and welcome back to another wonderful video. Today I'm here in Ponytown to share with you all another Ponytown wishlist. This is actually the 10th wishlist that I've done on the channel. This was actually a very difficult one to make because I'm kind of running out of ideas of things that could potentially be added to Ponytown to overall better it. I've talked about everything from like, oh, they should add mini games to Ponytown, to, oh, they should add this type of action to the freaking commands and everything like that. And I've talked about like, oh, they should add this to the building, and oh, they should add this and that and whatever else. I've talked about a lot of things that I would love to see added over the course of a couple years now in Ponytown, and honestly, some of those things have come and that's great, but I honestly can't really think of much else. So if you can come up with anything, please let me know in the comments below what your ideas are for things that could come into Ponytown, and make them like really good ideas, things that you really think could actually work in the game, not just some random thing like they should add TVs to Ponytown and things like that. I would love to see your comments on that, and I would actually make a video out of that, so you could get featured in a video if you make a good comment on some ideas and things like that. Even if it's a bad idea, I would probably use it eventually for, you know, a bad ideas wish list. I've done a couple of those and they're pretty fun. But anyway, I've rambled enough about, you know, my situation right now with Ponytown wishlist videos, so let's go ahead and start on Ponytown wishlist number 10. Starting off with number 1, we have Prefabs. This is the one that I'm actually the most excited about out of this entire list, to be honest with you, because it would be the most helpful feature and the most useful feature. It would get a ton of uses. I would use it all the time, and a lot of other people would too. It would save so much time. This idea essentially is where if you go onto your party island and everything like that, let's say you build a nice little setup like this little table with some carpets around it and everything like that, and it's very particular, like it's very lined up perfectly and everything like that, and it's just great. You love it. But it doesn't quite look good where you placed it. What I'm saying is it would be awesome to be able to grab all of those objects all at once and move them, or select all of those objects at once and save them under a prefab folder in the categories tab for, you know, your new building UI and everything like that. It would be awesome to be able to save them on there, and then you can open up your category of prefabs and all of them are on there. You can name each of them and everything like that, and it would be just wonderful overall if you could do that. And then like, oh, let's say I did like an 8x8 grid floor tile or something like that. Perhaps I could save that as well, or perhaps it's just as simple as like, hey, I did a thing that looks really cool, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to replicate this again, or if I can replicate it, it's going to take me forever to replicate it because I don't exactly know how I did that or managed that. It would just be really cool overall to see people be able to, you know, save their creations, like a smaller version of their creations, under a prefabs folder, and overall be able to grab from that prefab folder and then place it on their island at any time. In addition to this, there's actually potential for Patreon rewards in this prefab folder. So you could do something similar to how you have like the map saving folders and everything like that, where you only can have 3 save slots unless you're X amount of Patreon member or whatever. You could do something where it's like, oh, you get 10, you know, prefab slots by default, and then it goes up to 20 if you're tier 2, and then like 30 or something like that if you're tier 3. I don't exactly know how fair it would be if it was limited to 10 and 20 and 30, but it would be really interesting to see, you know, this prefab thing included, and I think it would be something that people would potentially really love to, you know, do through Patreon and everything like that, because it's obviously a very good reward to have more prefabs and everything. And that was a long one. I promise not all of them are as long as that, but that's just the one I'm most excited about, and I kind of have the most worked out in my head. Number 2 has to do with customization. Number 2 would allow me to unlock everything in a single row. As you know, if you allow custom outlines and things like that, you get to customize the outlines, but each of them are locked by default, which is very useful and handy, but unlocking each of them one by one is a little bit infuriating. Not necessarily infuriating, it just takes up more time than I would like to take up. So it would be really cool if there's a single button I could press that would unlock everything in this row. For example, this front legs pattern here has quite a few locked items. If I wanted to unlock all of them, I would have to go one by one, and that obviously takes up time. Not very much time, but it would be really cool to save that time by pressing a single button that would unlock all of them. And work vice versa as well. So if they're all unlocked, I can be like, oh, I changed my mind on all of those, let me just lock all of them back, and it would revert all of them. That would be a really cool feature to have. In addition, it would obviously work for things like the other patterns and things like that if they have several obviously locked items and things like that. But it would also be cool if it was just a matter of like, once you press a specific button, it unlocks all of the outlines, so you can customize all the outlines without having to worry about unlocking each individual one. So that's number 2. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is lock items from being movable. This would allow me to be able to basically lock an item on my island or my house or whatever else, so that another player that visits my island is never able to move it. Even if I unlock map editing or give them permissions to, edit the map and things like that through the party editor thingy, permission thingy, whatever you want to call it, this would allow it to where no one is able to move that object, including myself, unless I unlock it again. And only I would be able to unlock it again. Other players wouldn't be able to go on there and then unlock that item. This is something that you see a lot in things like Halo Forge and other, map builders and things like that that include multiple people. Basically, it allows for you to protect your items so that, your friend doesn't end up taking from what you're building or something like that. It also keeps them from ruining your build a little bit. It also allows you to open up all kinds of possibilities for more, oh no, I accidentally, moved that object. I didn't mean to do that, and I didn't realize I did that. You would prevent, cases like that. You would add opportunities for, more mini games and things like that, because sometimes maybe you want to lock things from your opponent so that only you're able to move your own things and things like that. I think overall, being able to unlock and lock items on your party island would be a very cool feature to have, and I definitely welcome it. Number 4 is good for players who are new to the game or players who just aren't that great at making characters. It would be amazing to have a randomized option for everything. Basically, starting off when you go to the character editor and everything like that, it would be really nice to be able to hit new, and then it gives you an option to be randomize that character. So when I hit new, a little dice icon appears either on the left or it's just already there, and I can press the dice icon and it randomizes the character 100%. It randomizes its eyes, its eye colors, its body colors, its hair, its tail, what it's wearing, etc., etc. Basically, this would be something very similar to how The Sims work, where when you make a character in Sims, it just defaults to a random character. I'm not saying remove the default character, but I'm saying that The Sims have a feature where you can randomize your character, its traits, and everything else like that. So it'd be cool if we had something similar in Ponytown. Even if it wasn't like a full-on, like, oh, you randomize the full character all at once, it would be nice to be able to randomize things like the body patterns, the legs patterns, and things like that. Randomize whether or not it's a Pegasus, and if it is, what wings does it have. Being able to randomize each option would be very cool for players who are new to the game, because being able to randomize the entire character all at once would get you a relatively good looking character, similar to how The Sims work. This would allow you to skip the character editing and then get into that later, since it is potentially a bit overwhelming for certain players. So instead of having them go through everything like that, or maybe they have to make one themselves before they can unlock this randomized filter or something like that, I don't know, but it would be really cool to be able to just do that for fun, if nothing else. Number 5 is the lamest of these all, I'm not gonna lie, but it is basically workable doors. Doors that actually work would be really cool to have in the, party island and everything like that, or even just the party house, whatever you want to call that little area that you can customize. Basically, it would be really cool to be able to open and close these doors on your party island and everything like that, place them where you want to place them, lock them from other players, make it to where, you have to press a button to unlock it, like maybe press E to unlock it, things like that. It would just be really cool to have those, just because it opens up more roleplay opportunities as well. It just would probably be pretty cool to be able to lock off certain areas from other players and have it to where, only the person that locked the door can unlock it. Different things like that would be really cool to have. And it's something that I think people have requested a long time ago, where they're like, oh, we should have doors in Ponytown. And other custom servers have doors, but none of them really function. The closest one to a functioning door we have is in Ash's Town, but that's in the bunker thing, and you have to boop a thing to do it. It would be really cool if we could just have some, not like that, but like a door that we could actually do. Maybe perhaps something similar to like a stable door. Maybe there's different types of doors or something like that. I don't know, but it would be really interesting to just see doors, and doors that actually function instead of just a door. Anyway, that's going to do it for the video. I do hope that you enjoyed. Like I said, this was a very hard one to make. I couldn't really come up with that many ideas. I don't know if it's some kind of writer's block or something else, but I tried my best here to give you a 10th wish list video is probably going to be the last wish list video that I do for a very long time, just simply because of the fact that I like can't think of that many things to add to Ponytown right now, or like that I would want to be added to Ponytown and things like that. I obviously can't add them myself. If I could, that'd be cool, but I can't. So that's going to do it for the video. I do hope that you enjoyed this wish list finale, perhaps, question mark. And if you did, please do like, subscribe, and share, and do all of those wonderful things, because when you do those wonderful things, you get access to wonderful content such as this. But that's not all you get. That's not all you get. You also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.